Madam President,
Senator from Delaware.
I just want to say the senator from Pennsylvania is someone, when I was growing up in Philadelphia, was the district attorney there and known to be a really tough and good prosecutor. So having Senator Specter speak to this bill says a lot about the bill and about the underpinnings of it. I just want to make a few comments here. This bill is really important. The American people are really upset and outraged with the abuses that have rocked the financial sector, and especially has put so many Americans into dire financial straits. This is a good bill, plain and simple, and I'd like to run through some of the reasons why I think it is important and why I think it is one of the easiest votes that a member will make in this session of the Congress. First, this bill is a critical step to restoring investor confidence in the financial markets by assuring the public and criminal behavior by unscrupulous mortgage brokers and corrupt financiers will be prosecuted and punished. When I travel around, I talk to people, they feel that no one is paying a price in this. Only the hardworking people out around America who have been hit so hard by these financial crisis, they don't feel like the people in Wall Street, the people that did this, the people involved in mortgage brokers are really paying a price. So I think and therefore, very importantly, they do not feel it's time to get back and get into the markets. They're concerned that the markets aren't fair and the markets aren't on the up and up. So what we're going to do with this is assure the public that criminal behavior by unscrupulous mortgage brokers and corrupt financiers will be prosecuted and punished. Second, this bill is a deterrent. Prosecuting white-collar crime today sends a message to those who be tempted to cheat and defraud again. I do not want to be a party to the fact that 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now, people are sitting and ready to make a financial deal and someone say, you know, this is breaking the law. We're really doing something here that's against the law, and someone else saying, well, you know, they did that back in 2007, 2008, 2009, and no one ever was prosecuted about it. These are very complicated financial dealings. If we do this, we're going to be just fine because, remember, nobody went to jail for what happened. And frankly, if we don't add more FBI agents, more prosecutors, more financial training, that's exactly what could happen. Third, this bill rebalances law enforcement resources. We go back to September 11th. Many federal agents were rightly deployed from criminal work to counterterrorism. Counterterrorism was the key thing. We had to do something about this. We had to find the people that perpetrated 9/11. We had to find the people that could think about doing something like this in the future. So rightfully, we moved FBI agents away from financial fraud and onto counterterrorism. But the problem is, we never replaced those agents. Right now, in 2008, we had less financial fraud cases brought than we had in 2001. It's incredible to believe that in this environment, we had less criminal cases brought in 2008 than 2001. So what we have to do is rebalance the law enforcement resources, and that's what this bill does. It allows us to get more federal agents, more prosecutors, and more training back to where it was be. During the height of the savings loan, we have about 240 FBI agents now working on financial fraud. At the height of the savings loan crisis, we had over 1,000. So we want to go back to that level. We want to get the people back, the FBI agents, get them back, get them the training they need, get the prosecutors the training they need. So this is a wonderful way to rebalance law enforcement resources. Fourth is this bill helps ensure the sophisticated criminals can't cover their tracks and escape liability. Unless we get more agents working on these cases soon, the trail may go cold. I know many people in America watch Law and Order, and they know that if you don't catch a criminal usually within the first 24 hours, it's very, very difficult to ever catch them. And I think in this case, that's what's going on here. This is one of the reasons why we have to pass this bill and pass this bill soon. Because when you have these complicated financial cases, The sooner you get to the case, before people can cover their tracks, before people can go back and clean up what they've done, we need the FBI agents on the job gathering the data and gathering the information. Another point is, this bill modernizes several areas of financial fraud law. Among the others, it updates the definition of financial institution to cover mortgage lending businesses that are not directly regulated or insured by the federal government. Remember, much of the things that went on, much of our problem had to do with the mortgage lending business. The fact that people went out, they searched for and had people take out mortgages, many of whom were not qualified to have the mortgages. Then they bundled the mortgages up and securitized them, and then went off and sold them. In this area, there's enough anecdotal evidence to indicate that there was some kind of fraud going on in this. What this bill does, it makes financial fraud and moves the mortgage lending businesses under the definition of financial institution so that we can go after these folks. Sixth, this bill is money well spent. How many times taxpayers have paid billions for bailouts? We should spend the millions it would take to find and prosecute all those who went to jail. Again, taxpayers have paid billions for bailouts. No Americans I've talked to, no one in my home state of Delaware, can understand why we would not spend the money we need to prosecute these people for the crimes they've committed. It just sends the wrong signal to the American people if, in fact, we do not get these folks, and if we do not spend the money it will take to find and prosecute all those who were involved in this financial fraud. Next, this bill is an investment. This is easy. As I said, this is the easiest vote anyone will cast in this session of Congress, because history tells us that funds spent on fraud enforcement net money for the government. Not just net money for the government, but net money for the government at a rate of $15 recovered for every dollar spent. Now, I've heard some people concerned about spending this money. I think I've gone through the points of why we should spend the money. But if you're just fiscally, financially conservative, if you basically believe that really there's nothing the federal government spend money on, there is one thing that even you will agree with, and that is if I can spend $1 to get back $15, that is the most fiscally conservative program that's ever been invented in the history of the federal government. So we have a program here. We're going to have to spend some money, but we know we're going to get the money back, and not back, but many, many times over. Finally, and I think most importantly, this bill will make it clear to all Americans that we hold Wall Street the same standards as Main Street. We've got to have people believe, I mean, it's essential to our system, that if you break the law, you will suffer the consequences. Now, keep in mind that many banks and mortgage brokers avoided the subprime market and acted responsibly. Respect for the law, rule of law demands that we identify, investigate, and punish those who knowingly self-dealt millions of dollars to line their own pockets while leaving investors in the dark. But we have to be careful about who we're trying and who we're prosecuting. This is not a witch hunt. We're not out to get everybody, to nail everybody in this business. But we need the FBI agents and the prosecutors to make sure that we get the right people, and that when we get them, they are prosecuted to the full extent of the law. I think the American people, I know the American people, are looking for swift action to restore faith in our financial markets and the rule of law. This bill is a great opportunity to do that. And I suggest the absence of a quorum.
Clerk will call the roll.